Hi, Dr. Ulmer. My name is Meredith Gill, and I'm in the Graphics Communications Master's Program at Clemson University, so therefore I definitely appreciate the power and value of an image. I received my bachelor's in English also at Clemson, and it's part of the reason I signed up to take this course. I also first read some of your works in Dr. Sean Morey's class and was very interested at the time and understood that Dr. Holmovic taught those classes very well. So I was excited to delve into the readings, and we're talking about Chapter 12, An Avatar Emergency. In Chapter 12 of Avatar Emergency, the terms counsel and consultation are introduced. Through electricity, there may be another counsel possible for situations otherwise overlooked. Counsel, which is loosely defined as an opinion for action or a plan, is presented by Concept Avatar. In order to explain his thoughts, Ulmer gives the example of the Cabot Copper Superfund site in Gainesville, Florida. An agency and electrate formation is distributed. Ulmer makes the point several times throughout this chapter that all of our actions come with a price, and with progress comes cost. However, some fatal accidents are necessary, and it may not be the action itself that requires as much attention as the reaction. Let's develop a similar scenario by filling in the contrast slot. Wikipedia states that the Deepwater Horizon oil spill, also known as the BP oil spill, was the largest accidental marine oil spill in the history of the petroleum industry. The word that stands out to me in this quotation is accidental, which causes hesitation in my quick and normally immediate judgment of a situation. An accident is something that does not happen on purpose or is not purposefully caused by anyone. This abject situation was unexpected and needs immediate attention, as does any other emergency. As Ulmer states, within Flash reason, disaster itself is an avatar, and so by logic, we have on our hands an avatar emergency. In his consideration of the Cabot Copper sites, Aristotle's four causes are considered. First of all, in this case, what was the oil spill made from? Well, oil, but more specifically, there was a detective cement on the well which was holding in the oil. How was it formed? Well, an estimated total discharge of 4.9 million barrels erupted from the defect in the cement. What produced it? An explosion occurred exactly 3 years ago from yesterday, April 20th, 2010. It was caused by high-pressure methane gas from the well, which expanded into the drilling riser and rose into the drilling rig. Thus it ignited and exploded, engulfing the drilling platform. For what purpose? For oil, because people want to have a continuous supply at their beck and call. People want the luxury of space, and therefore they need a commute to a workplace, which in turn requires oil. Because people want to travel, take weekend trips, see the sights, experience different places. They don't want to have to deny their kids a trip to Disney World or the ability to play on a traveling sports team just because of gas. So where does pollution's pole point us? Right back at ourselves. We ask for it, and we continue to pay for gas every day, even after this terrible disaster. Even after millions of people and animals have been affected by this disaster, the demand by people steadily continues. Ulmer writes that the corporations in our case have accepted responsibility and negotiated compensation, even while the full catastrophe is still in progress and is irreparably fatal. This parallels the BP oil spill crisis, as BP pleads guilty to 11 counts of manslaughter and several other serious charges, as well as fines. In addition, they have agreed to pay out everyone that has been affected by this disaster, for the most part. However, a White House commission also concluded that the spill resulted from systemic root causes and absent significant reform in both the industry practices and government policies. And if they continue, this might well recur. Who then is the court to blame? I am in no way defending BP, just playing devil's advocate, or should I say, Damon's advocate, by mentioning that it very well could be any company looking to cut costs that could have made this mistake and still have been following the government's regulations and industry practices. However, as Ulmer stated in Chapter 5, Wit, or the consult of Damon, is often silenced by the crowd and masses of protesters. The desire to put the blame somewhere else besides oneself is too overpowering. However, flash reason, attainable through our daemon, becomes, as Ulmer states, practical as a general electricity only within the digital apparatus. This is because the apparatus allows us to receive signals from a voice of our daemon or genius. This requires a technical prothesis. Wit can be considered a symbol for flash reason within an electrode apparatus. Ulmer makes the analogy that wit is to electricity as commonplace is to literacy. Traditionally, commonplace was a very specific type of definition essay, and the purpose was to define or either laud a vice or virtue. Today, the point for us, as Ulmer states, is the coexistence of dialectic and mantic practices. The functionality of our electric moment is to give users access to this voice, which is drowned out by the crowd and masses. What if instead of taking the situation to court, BP and others, including all consumers of oil and gas byproducts, took responsibility for the spill? Instead of wasting time and intelligence in high court, strategies could be created, plans put into action, and shifted gears from ethos to pathos. Perhaps we could look elsewhere than the courts for counsel. We have to remember that all of our actions come with a price, and each choice comes with a retribution. With progress comes cost, and sometimes fatal accident is necessary. Coming full circle, it's not always the action itself that is important, but rather the reaction to it.